we're going to talk about color mixes and recipes, how to read them, how to use them, and how to make your own. Hello, gorgeous. We're going to talk about color recipes and color mixes. Some people don't understand how to read a color recipe. Some people don't understand how to write a color recipe. So we're going to talk about that. This, for instance, is a professional color recipe. This is for Donna Cato for her clay. A recipe is usually going to have one number, two numbers, three numbers. Ever how many colors are in that recipe is how many numbers it will have. For instance, this color right here says 1 to 4 red magenta. So that means that it's going to have 1 part red, 4 parts magenta. Another example is right here with your turquoise and green. You're going to have 2 parts of turquoise, 1 part green. Now, I have seen some people, and this is just a pet peeve of mine. I went on this rant the other day to one of my friends, and she just laughed at me. But I have seen people write color recipes as 1 part this color, a half a part this color, and maybe a quarter part this color. How you gonna have a half a part? It should be 4 parts this color, 2 parts this color, 1 part this color. You know, I mean, that's just a pet peeve. Okay, moving on. What is a part? Well, a part can be anything you want it to be. Let's just say a recipe calls for, we'll do something simple. Say 1 part orange and 1 part pink. Okay, this color may turn out super crappy because I've never made this before, and that just happened to be what I thought of. So I've got fuchsia and orange, and I'm gonna do 1 part of each. The most important thing is that these clays are the same thickness. Okay, they're both happen to be a number 3 on my pasta machine, which that makes no difference as long as they are equal. That's how you make a part. You want your clay rolled out on the same thickness, and in order to have your parts equal, you're going to use the same cutter. The same cutter on the same thickness of clay will give you equal parts. Does that make sense? Your part can be any size you want it to be. It just depends on how much clay you want to, you know, how much you need for your project. Another way to do it is to have a scale and weigh it, and then you would have, you know, the same weight of each part. I'll cut out some circles here. Actually, you know what? Let me go with a smaller one than that, because like I said, this color may be like really crappy. I don't know. Let me find a small cutter. Okay, here's a smaller one. That's 1 part, and that's 1 part. Now, let's say I needed more than 1 part. Okay, I'm just going to cut out a few there. And like I said, your part can be any size you want it to be, as long as a part is equal to another part. As long as each part is the same, it doesn't matter the size. It just is going to depend on how much of that color you want it to make. That's why a color recipe doesn't specify. It just says 1 part, okay, or ever how many parts, because whoever wrote that recipe doesn't know how much clay you want to make. You may want to make a little bitty bit just for a little flower or something, or you may want to make a whole 3 or 4 ounces to make a huge cane or a huge sheet. You know, that is entirely up to you. So let's say this recipe says 1 to 1. So I'm going to put 1 part orange, 1 part fuchsia. And I have a feeling this is going to come out to be an ugly color, but that is not the point. The point is to show you how to make a recipe, or how to use and read a recipe. And it say if this was a written recipe, it would say 1:1, and then it would usually say fuchsia/orange. Or let's just say, okay, if it said 2:1, fuchsia/orange, you would know that that means 2 of fuchsia and 1 of orange. And some of them will actually give the, like, say 1 part fuchsia, 2 parts orange, or whatever. Geez, I feel like I'm not making a whole lot of sense with this. I may not be the best person to explain this. Oh, that actually made a very pretty kind of pumpkin-y orange. If my recipe said, I don't know, 2 parts orange, 1 part fuchsia, then we would do this, because all of those parts are still equal. So I'm going to do 2 of these and 1 of these. And then that is how you read a recipe. Now, if, say, this recipe called for some white and it said fuchsia, orange, white, it would say 1 part fuchsia, 2 parts orange, and I don't know, 4 parts white, ever how many white you needed. So this is just you know, basically how to make one. And it doesn't matter the thickness, it doesn't matter the cutter, as long as they are all the same. I could use this cutter if I wanted to make a larger amount. I don't have any more cutters close by. You can use whatever cutter you want to, as long as your parts are the same. That's all that matters. That actually made it a cute little, like I said, a pumpkin-y, orangey kind of color that I just dropped in the floor, but that's... Sorry for the interruption, y'all. Trixie is here insisting that she has something she wants to tell you, so here she is.
Hello everyone, I am Trixie. You probably don't know this, but I am extremely neglected. I only have about 5 or 6 beds and blankets, maybe 20 outfits, and 100 toys at the very most. It's pitiful, really. Anyway, Mommy says that for every comment and new subscriber, she'll buy me a new toy. If this video gets 50 likes, she'll buy me a new outfit. And if it gets 500 views in the first month, she's going to take me for a spa day at my favorite doggy salon. So please, y'all, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Just help a pup out, okay? I need it having to deal with my crazy mama.
Now, moving on. I want to make a recipe to match this color. This is Primo's Carnation. I wanted to do a project with this color. I started the project, I messed up and wasted about half of my clay. Well, I mean, I didn't waste it, I did something else with it, but you know what I mean. And I did not have another pack of this color. I went to order it, couldn't find it anywhere. So I'm gonna see if I can make my own. Now, from looking at it, to me, this looks like it's gonna need fuchsia and purple, but I don't know how many parts of each one I'm gonna need. I don't know if these are the right colors. I may have to add more colors. I don't know. I'm gonna have to play around with this. That's where cutters like this come in handy. I got this cutter from Polyclay Play. They come in 3 different sizes. Obviously, I'm not going to use this because I'm playing around. I don't know what I'm going to need. So I'm going to start out really, really small until I figure out my recipe. And then once I figure out my recipe, then I can use something like this or even a bigger cutter to make my parts, because I'm going to need probably like a whole pack, so probably 2 ounces of this color. Maybe even, I may even make up a little bit more just because I really like this color. So I'm gonna start out And this will make your little sections for you. So you have your little parts. Alright, I'm going to pull these off of this shiny towel so that you don't have to look at the shiny towel. Oh, by the way, look at my blade holder. Isn't that cute? I love it. Again, polyclay play. Okay. Get out my... I didn't cut all the way through that one. But the others cut all the way through, so that was my fault. Okay, I got all my parts here now of all three colors. Okay, I've got one part fuchsia, one part purple. Mix that together and see if I think that is going to give me the color that I want, and then I will lighten it up and get a, what is it called? Is it a tone of that color? I can't remember. Hold on, let me look at it. A tint. If you add white to a color, it's a tint. If you add dark to a color, it is, what is it? It's a shade. So if you want to make a shade of a color, you add black. If you want to make a tint of a color, you add white. So I want to see if this is about the color that I think it needs to be, and then I will make a tint with some white. Just need to see if this has the same kind of undertones or same colors as this. I almost think that's a little bit too purple. Let me try doing 2 parts fuchsia and 1 part purple. Now what I need to be doing is writing this down so that I don't forget what I got going on here. So fuchsia, purple, white. So far I got 2 parts fuchsia, 1 part purple. And that way, as I'm going along and I'm working on this, I don't forget how many I've used of each one. This color is a little bit more pink than it is purple, so I may still have to add more fuchsia. Alright, let's see, what do we think? That still looks mighty purple, but I'm getting there. Let's do 1 more fuchsia. See, this is why you start out with these little bitty parts, because you have no idea how much you're going to need when you're trying to match a color, or even if you're just trying to make a color that you see in your head that you want to make. And not necessarily trying to match it to anything. You still need to start with tiny little parts so that you don't wind up with a whole bunch of clay and it's the wrong color, not what you wanted. And you know, these colors may not even give me that color. I don't know. I'm just winging it here and see what I get. And that's why you need to start with these little parts. Now I think I might be getting there. I can always add more fuchsia or more purple after I get it lightened and see what I'm working with here. Almost want to add 1 more fuchsia to that. Alright, let's see if I add 1 more how it looks. Could always go back and add another purple if I need to bring it back more to the purple side. Another thing about using these small little pieces is that it's easy to mix it by hand. And it only takes just a second. I don't know. This still is looking really purple to me, but I'm going to lighten it up and see where I go from there. Okay. Now, what I could do is roll this out and make this my base color and do like one part of this to ever how many parts of white. But I don't know. That may make the recipe a bit more confusing. So I think I'll just stick with this. And I know that I'm going to need, well, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts so far in this. I would say I'm going to need at least double that in white. So I'm probably going to need at least 10 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8. We'll start with those. Ooh, look here. We're getting close. We're getting close. Ooh, I'm excited. Guys, I did better on this than I thought I was going to. And I promise I have not tried this. That just seemed to me to be the base colors of what that was made from. And it doesn't, for me, it doesn't have to be absolutely, you know, like perfectly the same. As long as I get close, I'm good with that. But look, yeah, I think I definitely got my base correct. Just gonna need to add some more white, so let me roll out some more white. I've got 8 parts white in there. Let's add 2 more. That'll get us to 10 parts. May take more than that. I don't know, but we will see. We're getting close. So, may not need too much more white. Oh, I better mark that down because I'll forget. It gives me 10 of those. Yeah, it's gonna have to have more white. And you never know when you're making your own recipe. You never know how many parts you're gonna need. So far, all right, this is the size of 1 part. This is how much clay that I've got. So could you imagine if I started out with this? How big this wad of clay would be, and then if it was nowhere near the color I was looking for, then that's going to be a lot of clay that was not what I wanted. So that's why it's important to start with small parts. Okay, I got 10. Let's go for 12. It's still not quite there. And I'm not so sure that my base doesn't need, or that this color doesn't need 1 more fuchsia. That purple must be really, really strong. Or, you know, like really pigmented. But I want to get it up to the lightness that I want it. And then if I need to add more fuchsia, I will. Just want to get it as close to that color as I can. And then if I need to adjust, I will. Yeah, it's going to have a little bit more pink, I do believe. All right, so I'm going to add 2 more pieces of white. And I'm marking them down as I go. And you see why I'm marking them, because if I was doing this and adding this many pieces of white, I would have no idea how many I've added in there at this point. But since I wrote it down, I know I've added 14. Okay, I think I've got that mixed in good. Nope. You want to make sure you get it mixed well before you start adding more to it, because may be surprised at how much that little bit of unmixed color can change it. Oh, I'm getting close. All right, I'm going to add these other 2 pieces of white. And I still think I may need a little bit more of the fuchsia. But then if I add the fuchsia, I'm going to have to add more white, which that's fine. I just want to get at the, I guess, the tone that I want to. I don't know. I have a hard time remembering color theory terms. I know color theory. Maybe, I mean, obviously not everything about it, but I do know enough to get by about color theory, but I just can't ever remember the terms. I have a book over here on color theory. Let's see, where is that book? What's the name of it? Yeah, I don't see it. Oh, here it is. I have this book called the Color Index. I really need to take the time to read more into that book, because, you know, if I'm gonna be a teacher on YouTube, I kind of need to know what I'm talking about here. Oh, this is looking so good. I cannot believe that I got this close to this color on the first try, or that I got my base colors right. Ooh-wee. Okay. Yeah, I almost think, dang, that's close. But I still think I need to add another fuchsia. Alright, so we're going to add one more and hope that doesn't mess it up. Maybe it won't. Well, you know what? If it does mess it up, then I just know to take 1 part fuchsia off of my recipe. And like I said, it doesn't have to be, for me, it doesn't have to be a perfect match to this color, but I would like to get it pretty close so that I can share the recipe online, because I don't know if they discontinued that color or what, but like I said, I checked several different websites, including the Sculpey website itself, and could not find that color anywhere. And if I didn't, if I forgot to say that, the name of that color is Carnation. And I had never even used it before. And then the first time that I wanted to use it, I made a rookie mistake and messed it up, and yeah. So I'm gonna have a video. I don't know if it's gonna be out at the what order all these videos are coming out in, because I'm making several different ones at this point, so I don't know which is coming out first. But I did wind up doing like a whole different collection with the clay that I messed up. So if that's not out already, it will be coming out soon, and it will be this and these patterns. I think I just need one more white, maybe 2 more whites. Adding that fuchsia did get me there. I think that's all I needed, was that one. Why won't you focus? That one fuchsia. So I'm going to add 1 or 2 more whites to that. My phone is running out of memory, so I will come back after I get that done. I added quite a bit more white to this, and I will give you the recipe in just a moment. But look at this. Look at this. Y'all, I cannot believe that I got this on the first try. Absolutely cannot believe it. You know, it could still use 1 more white, or maybe a couple more whites, because they're really small pieces. But I mean, that is basically the exact thing. I'm gonna, I may add a little bit more white to it because I thought I had it, but this still looks a little bit purple to me. So I think I'm gonna add one more fuchsia and some more white and see where that gets me. This has taken a bit longer than I thought it would. I've had to make more adjustments than I expected, but I think I actually have it. I checked the colors outside also, out natural light. This may be just a little bit more pink than this. I almost think it could stand to have just a teeny tiny bit of brown in it, which would kind of tone it down a little bit, but I'm almost afraid to mess it up. And I think that is, I mean, it may not be exact, but I think for most people that's close enough, because it is, I mean, it is very, very close. When you're making your own recipe, especially when you're trying to match something like this, you want to add one part at a time. Like every time I needed another fuchsia, I would add one part at a time. The white, I did add, you know, sometimes 2 or 3 parts at a time because I knew it was going to take a lot more white to combat that fuchsia that I just put in. Once you see how the clay, the colors that you're using, once you see how they're going to behave, then yeah, you might can add a couple of more parts at one time. But especially when you just start out making the recipe, you definitely want to add just one part at a time. Here is my final count on the recipe. I'm going to actually write this out as a color recipe. I'm not sure exactly if there's like a certain order that these colors need to go in. Me personally, when I'm writing out a recipe, I do the lowest part first. So for me, I would do the purple, then the fuchsia, and then the white. Now, somebody that's been doing this longer than me, y'all let me know if that's the way it should be done or if a certain color should go before the other. So for this recipe, I would say purple, fuchsia. I can't ever remember how to spell that. Fuchsia. Is that right? Maybe? I don't know. I can't ever remember how to spell that. And white. Alright, I know I've got one part purple. So that's going to be 1, 2, 7, 2, I got lots of white. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 46. Alright, and that's how a color recipe should read. 1 to 7 to 46. Okay? I hope that helped. I hope that cleared things up for you. And I hope you make you some carnation. Okay? And that's all. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'm happy to help. If you want to make your own recipe or you want to make somebody else's recipe, don't forget to get you some recipe cutters from Polymer Clay Play. These will make things so much easier for you. It's already cut out. You've got all of your little parts. They're all going to be equal. And yeah, that'll just make your life a little bit easier. Start out with the little one though if you're practicing or making your own. But now that I know what parts I need, I'm going to use the big one because I need quite a bit of this color for my next project, which if it hasn't already been posted will be coming up soon. So look out for that. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Okay, thanks. Bye.